Hello and welcome to this week's issue of BRN United. We've actually recorded this on Friday afternoon because we had a called meeting of our executive board on Friday morning to meet to receive a recommendation from our search committee and our administrative committee for our new executive director treasurer. And seated next to me is Reverend Barry Whitworth. Barry was elected unanimously by our board this morning to begin serving effective February the 1st as our new executive director treasurer. And so we've recorded this on Friday for you to be able to see this on Tuesday morning. So Barry, let me shake your hand and welcome.
Okay, thank
and
you,
congratulations.
Stan. Appreciate that.
Now we're going to have lots of time to talk, and we won't try to do 30 minutes worth of interview right now. So let's just do a little bit of kind of preliminary things. I said February the 1st as an effective date. This is December. What are you doing in January?
Well, January, Stan, I'm planning to just get alone with God, to seek His wisdom and counsel now that this has been finalized about what the future journey will look like, and specifically 2017, to kind of set the tone for how we're going to come out of the gate through the work that we're going to do with the Baptist Resource Network, and how we're going to build upon the legacy that we've been given, and the things that we need to do to concentrate on assisting and encouraging our churches to be most effective in seeing that spiritual transformation take place across Pennsylvania and South Jersey. So getting time alone with God, meeting some other state execs, a fairly new one, and then one who's seasoned, going down to NAM and interacting with the leadership there, and just trying to take in, listen, and pull together what God is wanting me to develop to start the journey of being the exec.
So those that are receiving this video, one of the things they could do in the month of January, knowing what you're doing, is let's ask them to commit to be praying for you and Beth, for wisdom and just a time of refreshing as you prepare to step into this new role.
Yeah, that would be great. I would cherish that. I know Beth would as well.
Good. Now, of course, most of us know you well because you've been a part of our staff, 13 years.
Yes.
And we've known you for your leadership in church planting. You've served, preached in many of our churches. So people know some about you, but they may not know a lot about your background. So you're a native of Maryland. Tell us a bit about kind of your background and your history together with Beth.
Well, I grew up in a middle-class home in the D.C. suburbs in a place called Gaithersburg, and met my bride there. We were high school sweethearts. We've been married 38 years. She was a pastor's kid, and we actually met in church, and we started our life together in that part of the country there in Maryland, and I was a postal service worker.
Wow.
Worked in the maintenance department, spent almost 13 years there.
Wow.
Before God called me into the ministry, and so we started life there. We served in the local church. I was a Sunday school teacher, Sunday school director, deacon, you name it. I really was groomed for a lot of what has taken place in my life in the past and now even today in the local church. And God called us out in the ministry. Let me say this, we have 2 girls and 6 grandchildren, and it was really at the end of their time in the home that our ministry began to really take off. The girls were teenagers, young teenagers, if you may, when we started our first ministry. So we went to an associate pastor position, and then became church planter and pastor in upstate New York. And then, of course, 13 years ago, you asked us to come here and be a part of the church planting work, starting first as a strategist in the central region. So our background has been ministry, a lot of ministry in the local church. It's been certainly been involved in church planting and pastoring, and we've just had a great ride, and we've been blessed. And I'm so thankful that God has put a lot of men into my life to shape me for where I am today. So that's a little bit of our journey.
Yeah, and certainly we'll have opportunity in the coming weeks to share more of your story, but I think it's important today for folks to catch that you've got a background of being a layman in the local church, and involvement in the local church ministries. You've been a pastor, you've been a planter, you've been a part of our team now for 13 years. So you bring a broad breadth of ministry that really relates to the variety of things that a state executive director is involved in as well.
Thank you. And I think, one of the things I would say is everything about our past has been in the context of the Northeast United States.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we know the Northeast, we love the Northeast, and it's a pleasure to serve God in this capacity in the Northeast.
Good. Well, Barry, you may want to have a closing word, but let me just say that personally, my affection for you and the journey that we've had together, and I'm so excited to see you move into this role.
Thank you.
I'm excited for our churches and what you and Beth will bring in terms of vision and leadership and your heart and your passion. And I'm excited. And even though I'm retiring, I'm just down the street, so
Amen.
I'll be watching, be available, be
Sure.
encouraging. And I just can't wait to see what God's going to do in the coming days.
Thank you, Stan.
And we'll do some more specifics in the coming weeks.
Sure.
But is there maybe a final word you want to share?
Well, I just want to tell our Baptist family across Pennsylvania, South Jersey, that I'm both honored and humbled to have this opportunity to be the executive director. My passion is the local church, to assist and encourage the churches to be most effective in their context of reaching the lost, discipling the saved, and seeing God use these people to impact our context, their towns, their boroughs, their part of the city, for the glory of God, to see more people get saved so that we can decrease lostness and push back darkness. And really have an impact in our generation for such a time as this. So what a blessing it is. Again, very honored, very humbled, and I hope to serve the convention family well, and I look forward to the journey together. So thank you, Stan.
Amen. Well, thank you for joining us this week, and I look forward to talking with you next week. There'll be a few more weeks that I'll continue to provide BRN United videos, and then we'll transition to the leadership role that Barry will be bringing. God bless you, and talk to you next week.